Okay, so if you look at the first problem, it says the designer of a radio telescope featuring a parabolic amplification dish has been using a coordinate grid to plot out the schematics for her device. A cross-sectional diagram places the vertex of the parabola 10 feet above the surface of the roof, exactly at the center. So we have our roof right here, and then it says that the vertex is 10 feet above in the center. So here's the center. We're going to be 10 feet above, and then we know that satellites open up. So there's our parabola. Then it says the receiver is designed to fit at the focus of the parabola, which is 15 feet above the roof. So if this is 0, 10, then my focus has to be at 0, 15. Now, the reason that that's important is that that will tell me how far apart these guys are. If this one's at a height of 10, this one's at a height of 15, then I know that my P is 5. Now, I also know then that my directrix has to be down here at y equals 5, but remember that you don't actually really need the directrix to write the equation. So what you're asked to do, okay, is to sketch a graph of the device and then put an equation in vertex form to model the placement on the roof. Your diagram should include the vertex, the focus, and the directrix. So I can see that my vertex is this one. My focus is this one. And my directrix is this one. Then because this parabola opens up, we're going to do this formula, y equals 1 over 4p x minus h squared plus k. And then remember that if my P is a 5, right here, then 1 over 4P would be 1 over 4 times 5, which is 1 over 20. Also, I know that's a positive 1 over 20 because my satellite opens up. Then for my x value, remember I need my vertex point, so I'd put x minus 0 plus, and then my vertex was at 10. So that would be your equation. Okay? So I'm going to do one more of these with you. I'm going to help you with number 2, then you'll have to do number 3 on your own. So it says an architect is designing a bridge that will need to span a 100-meter river and be 70 meters high at its center. The vertex of the bridge will be at 50, 70. So let's draw our graph here. So our bridge needs to go from 0 to 100. So this distance is 100, and then it says it'll be 70 meters high at its center. Now, if we know that it says here the vertex of the bridge will be at 50, 70, then I'm going to write that as an ordered pair. That's my vertex. Okay, then it says the focus will be 10 meters below that. So if this is 50, 70, then my focus 10 below that would be at 50, 60. And remember that the reason that that matters is that how far apart those are tells you what your P is. So if that one's at 70 and that one's at 60, then my P is 10. Then from there it says, sketch graph of the bridge, write an equation in vertex form to model the parabola. Your diagram should include the vertex, check, the focus, check, the directrix, we need to draw it. Directrix would be up here. And then if these are 10 apart, then these have to be 10 apart. So if that's at 50, 70, then this would have to be at y equals 80, 10 above that. And that's the directrix. Then remember, the 2 important pieces for me to write my equation would be the 50, 70 of the vertex and the fact that P is 10. So I'm coming back to this original equation right here. I'd have y equals 1 over 4p, but if my p is 10, then 1 over 4p would be 10 times 4 on the bottom, which would be 40. Now, also notice that my parabola is opening down, so that means I have to put a negative in the front. Then for my x, this was a 50 as my vertex, so it'd be x minus 50 squared, and then my y value was a 70. Okay? All right, go ahead and turn over to the back, please. I'm just going to do one of the ones off the back with you. So flip it over, please. All of these ones on the front are going to use this same equation here. This is for parabolas that open up or down. So on the back, that's what we did on Wednesday. On the back, we're going to do parabolas that open sideways, which is what we did yesterday on Thursday. So take a look at your next sheet, please. Okay, I'm going to help you with number 5. So it says, a skateboard park is being designed to have a curved ramp in the shape of a parabola. Okay, so let's draw our picture of our parabola. Skaters may die going up the parabola, but the excitement is worth the risk. Okay, the ramp will open to the right, and it will have a vertex centered 20 feet above the ground. So here's my graph. Okay, my dangerous skateboard ramp looks like that. And then it says that the vertex is 20 feet above the ground, so that would be right here at 0, 20. Then it says the directrix will be at -15. So that means I'd come back here, we'll say this is -15. There's your directrix. Now what you should remember is that if this is 15 apart, your focus has to be 15 this way. So that would be, if this is 15 here, this is 15 here. So that would be 15, 20. That's your focus. Okay, I have my vertex here, and I have my directrix here. Then remember, the reason we need all that stuff is to find, we need the vertex, and then we also need the focus. Or I'm sorry, not the focus, the P. So however far apart this is, that's what my P is. So my P is 15. And so that makes 1 over 4P, 1 over 4 times 15. 4 times 15 is 60. So it'll be x equals 1 over 60. And then remember that for this formula, I forgot to write the general formula for you, but it's x equals 1 over 4P, y minus k squared, and then plus h. So remember that this is where your y value goes. So my y value here was a 20, so I do y minus 20. Remember, y is the opposite because it has the parentheses around it, and then plus 0 because my x was 0. Okay? Okay, I'm going to help you set up the other two, just the picture. Okay, so this one says we're doing a blueprint for a home with a pool with a curved edge in the shape of a parabola. The curve opens to the right. It says it's 20 feet across, so that's how far this is, but that doesn't really matter. And then it says the focus of the curve is at 810. So that means that this point right here, the focus, is at 810. Okay, so you're going to have to find the vertex. Okay, but it tells me that it is, oh wait, this would be your x and y axis. So if this is this far, then how far is your P? So if I'm counting from 0 over to 8, your P would have to be 8. And then if this is 810, then you'd have to find this ordered pair right here. But think about if it's backwards 8 or if it's on the x-axis here, then that would be your vertex would be 0, 8. Okay? Then you'll use this same equation right here. So that's kind of the general shape that you should be looking for. Okay, then come up to number 4 for me, please. Okay, it says an artist is planning to create a piece of work using a coordinate grid. It will include a parabola opening to the left with the directrix at 20 and the focus at 1220. So that one's actually pretty self-explanatory. You should be able to do that. Okay? This is due tomorrow, or I'm sorry, due on Monday. Okay, if you are afraid that you're going to lose it, then you can turn it into the sub, but otherwise it's not due till then. So have a good weekend.